हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan is talking about Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna itself is the supreme knowledge which gives us liberation freedom from all sorrow, suffering, pain, fear, freedom from this samsara. So after describing Kshetra, Bhagwan now, before indicating Kshetratnya, he talks about the 20 values which we have to cultivate in order to recognize the Kshetratnya. So the 20 values are being described as amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atma vinigraha, indriyartheshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, dukkha doshanudarshanam, asaktiranabhishvangaha, putradara grahadishu, nityancha samachittatvam, ishtanishtopapatishu, मयि योगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणी विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. All these are called knowledge because these values help us to gain that knowledge. So मयि च अनन्य योगेन भक्ति. Ananya Bhakti for Ishvara is a very important value. Total dedication to Ishvara. And Vivikta Desa Sevitvam, one who revels in solitude. Because in solitude our mind becomes calm, peaceful, pure, and one can contemplate on the higher truth, higher self. And aratir janasamsadish, no involvement with negative people, to avoid company of those who are devoid of good samskar, those who are those who are ignorant and having all negative qualities. One should avoid company of such people. And then Bhagavan says, Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. One should gain firm abidance in Adhyatma Jnana. Atma, Atmadi Vishayam Jnanam, Adhyatma Jnanam, Tasmin Nitya Bhavaha, Nityatvam. See, through Shravan Manan, we gain that knowledge of the self. But through constant mananam, constant reflection, we should make our understanding more and more clear, free from all doubts. There should not be any confusion, there should not be any contradictions in our understanding. The understanding should be very clear. And there should not remain any other thirst to know anything else in our mind. One should not indulge in curiosity and inquisitiveness and just gaining some useless information and knowledge, whether it is the worldly knowledge or even in the spiritual field. Need not waste time in indulging in gaining information about variety of things which are mentioned in our Shastras. One should focus one's attention on the self, because that is the cream, that is what the scriptures want us to know. They want us to recognize ourself as we are, free from all distractions and free from all doubts. So when I focus my attention on myself, the question comes about the world. So the presence of the world also has to be resolved. Presence of Ishvara also has to be resolved. All get resolved in that Supreme Self. So the world is indicated as Kshetra, and the knower of the world is Kshetratnya. Kshetra is also Ishvara, And Kshetrajna is also Ishvara. So when we understand the Swarup of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, we understand our own supreme self, that Brahma. So constant contemplation is required to make our understanding more and more clear. That is very important. And it is possible with the help of our buddhi, which has become calm and peaceful by following all these 20 values, and which has become focused. Constantly when we think and understand the self, we have to gain that abidance in that understanding. We should maintain that understanding. That understanding should not be only when we are contemplating or only when we are in satsang, but that understanding should be maintained at all times. The false notion that I am this body, or I am a limited being, or I am karta, bhokta, jnata, all this should be dropped. All adhyas should be dropped. Adhyas is false knowledge, false comprehension of ourself and this world should be dropped. And one should gain abidance in that self-knowledge. That is the value which Bhagavan indicates here as Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, Nitya Bhavaha. That Nityata is very important, that one should, even if we are busy or woken up from our sleep, we should recognize that self. We should be constantly in tune with our own self. The world should not disturb us. People should not disturb us. Other thoughts should not disturb. So that is called Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam. And the final value which Bhagavan indicates here is Tattva Jnanartha Darshanam. This Adhyatma Jnana itself is Tattva Jnana, the knowledge of the Tattva, the knowledge of the essence, the knowledge of the ultimate reality. And when we gain this knowledge, what is the outcome? Tattva Jnana Artha. What is the meaning means what is the outcome of such a knowledge? The outcome of such a knowledge is moksha. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji writes कि अमानित्वादीनां साधनानां भावना परिपाक निमित्तं तत्वज्ञानम. After following these values, when finally we gain that value of Adhyatma Jnana Nityatvam, when our knowledge, self-knowledge becomes firm, then tasya artha, the result of such knowledge is moksha. And what is moksha? Samsara uparamaha, freedom from this samsara, freedom from birth and death, freedom from limitation, freedom from sorrow, pain, fear, suffering. So tasya alochanam. So one should constantly think and focus our attention on that moksha, on our ultimate destination. See, knowledge itself is not the destination. The result of knowledge is moksha. And there are stages of gaining this knowledge. First, we do Shravan. Then we do Manan. Through Manan we understand. But through Niridhyasan we gain abidance in this knowledge. So only when we gain abidance in the knowledge, we gain freedom. Just by gaining knowledge, we don't get freedom. So that Niridhyasan, meditation, abidance in that knowledge is very important. And abidance in this knowledge happens when we have all the values. When our antakarana is param shuddha, then we are able to abide. If those values are not there at this stage, then we will just have intellectual appreciation but will not be able to experience the Supreme Truth. But when our mind is pure, Antakaran is Shuddha, through all these values, then we will be able to gain that abidance. So one should constantly keep one's attention on that moksha, what we want, what is the ultimate result which we are seeking. One should have that attention there. Why? Shankaracharya ji writes कि तत्वज्ञान फलालोचने ही तत्साधना अनुष्ठाने प्रवृत्ति ही स्यात्. When we keep our attention on that goal, on moksha, we will get inspired to do our sadhana. We will feel more and more inspired to do the sadhana. Even if we are tired, we will get up and walk that path. Just as when a person goes on a yatra also, he has to walk all the way, let us say all the ways to go to Kedarnath, Dham, walking. So as he walks, he feels tired. But then there are those yatris who are returning from there. They encourage, they say, oh, it is just a few kilometers away. Don't get tired, don't get disheartened. Get up and walk. You are just there. This round the corner, it is, you have already reached, almost there. So they will encourage. They will tell you that once you reach there, you will see the glory of Bhagwan there. So get up, start walking. Similarly, when we do alochana, when we do contemplate on the result of Tattvajnana, then we get inspired to do our sadhana with full enthusiasm and gain that abidance in that Supreme Self. So that is called Tattvajnana Artha Darshanam. So these are the 20 values which are indicated here, starting from Amanitvam, and they are graded very nicely. So they are like the sadhana for a sincere spiritual seeker. Those who have gained, as I said, 60% of their spirituality. Those who have followed the path of Karma Yoga and Karma, Upasana, and have done the Shravan properly. So this sadhana will help in Manan and then in Nididhyasana. This sadhana will help a person in Mananam and then gaining that abidance in the Supreme Self. Therefore, Bhagwan calls these values as jnanam only. Etat jnanam iti proktam. All these are called jnanam. Why? Because they help for us to gain that ultimate knowledge that lead us toward the ultimate destination. Amanitvam itself is not knowledge, but Amanitvam help us to move in this direction. It removes all the obstacles from our path. Adambhitvam itself may not be knowledge, but Adambhitvam help us to walk on this path. It removes all distraction from the world. We can focus our attention on our path and on our goal. These are very important values. Therefore, Bhagwan calls them jnanam, etad jnanam iti proktam. And Bhagwan says, ajnanam yadataha anyatha. He also talks about ajnana. He says, opposite of all this, lack of all this, when we don't have these values, then that itself is called ajnanam. Shankaracharya ji writes, Asmad yatha uktad anyatha viparyayena manitvam. Like if we don't have amanitvam, we will have manitvam. If we don't have adambhitvam, we will have dambha. So manitvam, dambhitvam, himsa, akshantihi, anarjavam ityadi ajnanam vidneyam pariharanaya samsara pravrutti karanatvat. They are all called ajnana because they lead us into more and more samsara only. They bind us to this world. Our pride, our hypocrisy bind us to this world. Our violence, we may have, many people actually they have these negative qualities and they keep justifying them, giving high philosophy about why one should have these negative qualities. But really speaking, they bind us to this samsara. If we don't have forgiveness in our heart, or if we are not straightforward, if our understanding, our emotions and our words and our actions are not matching, they are not in tune with each other, that will bind us to this samsara. If we don't have reverence and respect for our teacher who is giving us this moksha sadhan, then we will be stuck in this samsara. If we don't have cleanliness of our body, our mind, then also we are in samsara. If we are not steady in our sadhana, stharyam, if our that understanding of our path and our goal is not clear, confusion. People actually they listen to so many pravachans, they read so many books, they are widely read people, but still confusion might be there in their head. Confusion of what? Confusion of exactly what is my path and what is my goal. Thorough confusion. Then that is samsara only. That person is stuck in samsara. When we don't have any control over our senses and mind, that is also called ajnana. When we don't have vairagya, when we are filled with lot of ahankar, claiming everything, I have done it, I am great, nobody is like me. When one doesn't contemplate on the defects of this world and the pleasures of this world, how they bind us, then we get bound only. If we are attached, if we don't have detachment, if we have attached to things, people, place, total identification with them, going up and down with every wave of this world, we also rise and fall. There is no balance in our mind. Nityancha samachittatvam is not there. If we don't have bhakti for Bhagwan, see many people, they feel that, in the scriptures, if those who follow the path of knowledge, then they need not have bhakti. Those who have followed the path of knowledge, then they need not do any karma. All sorts of misunderstanding and crazy, foolish ideas are there in the heads of people. Ishvara is there very much real. Ishvara is not mithya. World is not mithya. You are not mithya. We should have supreme devotion for that Ishvara, Ananya Bhakti, and should enjoy solitude, Vivikta Desha. If that some people are there who can't stay even for few minutes alone, they feel frightened, they feel disturbed. They can't just stay alone. And nowadays with all this mobile and all this internet and the social networking and all, people are always there in company of something or other. You will find people, if you go on the net, You will find people are everywhere, liking every post, whatever is there on the net, commenting on every little thing on the net. They are there everywhere. That is also dutsangam, that is also being in company of the whole world. And without your comment, the world will not get collapsed. It will be sustained and it will be happy also. So be happy in your own company. Enjoy that solitude. Because that is the fact. Because that is the supreme reality. We are alone. We are alone means all of us are one only. We are not crowd. The ultimate reality is not a crowd. The ultimate reality is one. Ekameva advitiyam Brahma. So if we are attached to being in crowd, being in company all the time, that will take us away from the reality. Vivikta desha sevitvam aratir jana samsadi, should avoid all dussanga. And adhyatma jnana nityatvam, one who doesn't have that adhyatma jnana is also bound to this samsara. One who doesn't appreciate moksha. See, people have funny ideas about moksha. Some people think that moksha can be acquired only by dying. Some think moksha is going to a special world, having lots of pleasures there. So they don't indulge in pleasure here on earth with the hope that they will get pleasure in the other world, in some swarga. Some people feel having a better birth is itself is moksha. So different ideas and different crazy things are there. Some people think that becoming totally shunya, zero, is moksha. So one should be very clear about it. See, the most ancient and anadi, ananta, apaurushaya shastra, the Vedas, what they say is the ultimate truth, and one should understand and appreciate it. So these 20 values are jnanam, and those, lack of them, absence of these values is ajnanam. Ajnanam will bind us to the samsara, and jnanam will make us free. So here some question was raised that how come these things are called knowledge. So Shankaracharya ji writes that they are called knowledge because they lead us towards the supreme knowledge. Yathoktena jnanena jnatavyam kim iti akamshayam aha neyam yattat ityadi. With the help of these values, what will we gain? What knowledge will we gain? That will be said in the next verse. Then why this was called knowledge? Because this leads us towards that knowledge. Jnana sahakari karanatvat jnanam iti uchyate. These are called knowledge because they lead us towards this knowledge. So what knowledge we have to gain after acquiring these values? What is that ultimate knowledge which makes us free from this samsara? That now Bhagavan reveals in the next verse. It's a very important verse, the 12th verse. Not only in 12th, but 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Till verse number 18, Bhagavan talks about this jnanam. I mean the neya, that which has to be known after gaining the proper qualification. And what we have to know? The kshetrajna, we should know the kshetrajna as Brahma. The kshetrajna has to be recognized as Brahma. Okay? So let us begin. So let us chant the 12th shloka. Neyam yattat pravakshami yajñātvāmritamashnuते anādimat param brahma na sattanna saduchyate. Bhagavan says, Neyam yattat pravakshami. So after gaining this jnanam, means all these values, I will now tell you what has to be known. Neyam. See, previously Bhagavan had hinted, he talked about kshetra and the knower of the kshetra, kshetrajna. Then Bhagavan described kshetra in detail. Now he will talk about kshetrajna, which has to be known. And the kshetrajna has to be known as Brahma. Therefore, this very subtle portion. So Bhagavan says, Neyam yattat pravakshami. Yat neyam, that which has to be known. Tat pravakshami, that I will tell you. Prakarshena yathavat vakshami. I will tell you about it as it is. And what is the phala of this knowledge of that Neya Brahma? He says, Yat jnatva amrutam ashnute. He says, having gained this knowledge, amrutam ashnute, you will gain amrutam. Freedom from death, freedom from change. You will gain that immortality. See, now, identifying with this body, we constantly experience change. We constantly experience death only. Also, this body keeps on growing old, and one day it falls down. Then again we pick up another body that also drops down dead. Then we pick up third body. So constantly we are born and we die. Means we experience birth and we experience death. We are not actually born and we don't actually die. But we experience birth and death. See, just as in our dream, we are sleeping very comfortably in our own bedroom. Safely, we are sleeping there. But we have a bad dream. And we suffer in our dream. Okay? So though I am actually, not in the dream, means that sorrow, pain, suffering of the dream is not there for me, but I experience the suffering. I experience the sorrow. And when I wake up, I become free of that sorrow. In my dream, I am poor, I am hungry, I am starving. I am looking for food. I am feeling so miserable. Then I wake up and I find myself on my own bed, and I had taken a good meal before going to sleep. So I am not hungry, and I am quite happy, satisfied. So though that was my condition in the waking, I experienced something totally different in the dream. And by getting food in the dream or getting objects of dream objects in the dream, which will be just a temporary solution for my suffering of my dream, I will be free of all the sufferings only when I wake up. Similarly, though my ultimate nature is Brahma, but I am experiencing sorrow, pain, fear, change, trouble, all these sort of things I am actually feeling, experiencing. Sukha Dukkha is my experience. Raga, Dvesha, Kama, Krodha, Sukha, Dukkha, Papa, Punya, all this Dvandva I am experiencing, though I am Dvandva Atita, I am beyond all Dvandva. Though I am Satchidananda Brahma, but I seem to experience totally different thing. So how can I be free of all this suffering and pain and sorrow? How can I be free of all my limitations and bondage? How can I be free of death? Bhagavan says, Yat Nyatva, just by knowing this Neyam which I will tell you, if you know it, you will be free. You will be immortal. Amrutam Ashnute, you will enjoy immortality. You will experience yourself to be deathless. Now again, when we say Jnanam, as I said before also, Jnanam is not only intellectual knowledge, but abidance in that knowledge. In Brahma Sutra Bhashya also, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji writes about Jidnyasa. One should have the thirst to know. Jnatum Ichcha Jidnyasa. The thirst to know. But that thirst to know is satisfied when he says, Avagati Paryantam Jnanam. That knowledge should culminate in avagati. Avagati means experience. Only when we gain that experience of our own self, then our jidnyasa is culminated. Otherwise, we should continuously have that jidnyasa, that thirst to know. See, many people just get satisfied with few information, few data, few wrong knowledge also. They pick up something and all, and they are satisfied. And then they want to become missionaries. They want to teach to others. They want to spread that knowledge to others without having that understanding for themselves. So that is not knowledge. Knowledge should lead to avagati, experience. And that experience happens through not only knowing but gaining that abidance through niridhyasam. So therefore Bhagavan says, Yad Jnatva Amrutam Ashnute. Having gained this knowledge, you will gain that Amrutatvam. You will become immortal. Okay, I am ready. Give me this knowledge. What is it? Bhagavan says, Anadimat Param Brahma. The Kshetrajna, he is talking about the Kshetrajna. He says this Kshetrajna is really Anadimat Param Brahma. Is Anadimat. Anadimat means Anadi. Anadi means beginningless. Beginningless means causeless. Causeless means ever existing. It is not born. It doesn't have a beginning. There was never a time when it was absent. It is always there. Anadimat. And it is Param Brahma. And this itself is Param Brahma. What was said before, a Kshetrajna, Bhagwan here indicates that as Param Brahma. It's a Mahavakya. So again, let us refresh our memory about Kshetrajna. Who is Kshetrajna? You are Kshetrajna. Huh? When we are talking about Kshetrajna, we are talking about you, the knower. Knower of what? Knower of the Sharir, Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, the knower of that. As we had discussed before, the knower is always different from the known. Whatever is known, whatever he knows, the knower is different. If I see something with my eyes, then what I see is different from my eyes. Similarly, what I know is different from the knower. So in the waking state, I know this world. I know the mind, I know the intellect. I know what is happening inside as well as outside. So I am the knower in the waking. I have my own name, I have my own personality. I say I am a man, I am a woman. But is that knower in the waking the ultimate knower? Does he remain all the time the knower? No. When we go to sleep, we experience a different world. We experience total detachment from the physical world, and we only experience the mind. In the dream, we experience only the mind. So the one who is dreaming, when he wakes up, is the same waker. But in the waking state, he was identified with the body. In the dream, his identification with the body, gross body drops. But he is still that same person. So I am the same person who was awake. I am the same person who is dreaming. But my dream, I as a dreamer, is closer to my own Swarupa, because I have dropped my identification with the gross physical body. But I am identified with my mind. Then when I go into deep sleep, the mind, intellect also gets dropped. I remain alone as the deep sleeper, Sushupta Atma, who is the real knower, who is different from the gross body as well as the subtle body. So that knower who remains alone free from the subtle body and the gross body, that knower is Kshetrajna. In waking, we mistake the Kshetrajna to be along with the gross physical body. So we have misunderstanding about Kshetrajna in the waking. We have misunderstanding about Kshetrajna in the dream. Kshetrajna is not associated with the mind. Kshetrajna is free from the mind also. So in deep sleep, I remain alone, Kshetrajna. But a strange thing happens. I don't recognize myself there. Remaining in deep sleep, I neither know myself nor know anything else. So it's a great mystery. When I am alone with myself, I don't recognize myself. When I am with my body, with my mind, I consider myself as per the qualities of my body and mind. So what is my actual Swarupa is not known. That Swarupa has to be recognized. That Swarupa, Bhagavan says, is Parabrahma. You are Param Brahma. You are that Supreme Brahma. Which Param Brahma? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. You are Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam means pure existence. Jnanam means pure knowledge. Anantam means infinite, boundless. Bhagavan tells us that, oh my dear person, you are Brahma, Param Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. It is very ununderstandable. How can I be Brahma? See, when I am in the deep sleep, I am not aware. In my dream, I don't have any freedom to think. Whatever is shown to me, I see. But in the waking, I can do my Purushartha. I can think, I can contemplate, I can meditate. I can do my Purushartha. But in the waking, I have misunderstanding about myself. So to that waker, this knowledge is given so that he removes his misunderstanding and recognize himself as that Brahma, which he is experiencing in general but doesn't know the actual nature in particular. We have a samanya jnana about ourselves, but scriptures gives us vishesha jnana, particular knowledge that you are Brahma. Again, little bit we can think. If Brahma is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, and Bhagavan says you are that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, then I should at least be able to understand it. It should not be just a just abstract words. Actually, we can understand it if we do little bit contemplation. If we just focus our attention on myself as a waker, identified with this body, then I will not understand that I am Brahma. Because Brahma is pure Satyam, a pure existence. But when I identify with my body, I think I am constantly changing. I was a child, I became young, I became adult, I become old. So I feel myself changing. I don't experience to be Satyam. Then the scripture says Brahma is Jnanam, Jnana Swarupa. But I am identified with this body which is Jada, inert, and I think I am this body. And the scripture says Brahma is infinite, not limited by space, time and object, but I feel myself limited. So in the waking state, when I look at myself and only see myself from the standpoint of the waking state, I don't understand the statement that you are Brahma. But in the waking state, when I contemplate on what I really was, what I really am, and what I was experiencing or what I had experienced myself to be different from the body mind, the Sushuptatma, the Kshetrajna. So in the waking, I should know that the scriptures are talking about me as Kshetrajna, and that Kshetrajna is Brahma. All this sadhana and contemplation we have to do in the waking. So we have to first identify with ourselves as Kshetrajna, and then understand that the Kshetrajna is Brahma. So Anadimat Param Brahma, that Neyam Kshetrajna, Neyam means that which has to be known, means that Kshetrajna, Bhagavan says, is Anadimat. Anadimat means Anadi, beginningless, means causeless, means always there. And Param Brahma is the Supreme Brahma. About that Supreme Brahma, I will tell you, Bhagavan says, and he tells, what does he tell? Na sattan na asad uchyate. He said that Brahma, that you cannot be called Sat, nor can that be called Asat. Na sat tat na asat uchyate. Na tat sat uchyate, na tat asat uchyate. Means that cannot be said to be Sat. Sat means that it is existing in this way. Cannot be pointed out as that this is Brahma and it is this way. This is that Brahma. It is of this nature. It cannot be pointed out like that, nor can it be said to be Asat, non-existent. Means that Brahma cannot be said to be existent in a particular way, nor can it be called non-existent. It is so subtle, so very strange. Even in the scriptures, it is indicated as neti neti, not this, not this, not this. But it is there. That Brahma is there. It cannot be called Sat nor can be called Asat. See again, when we are talking about Brahma, when the scriptures talk about Brahma, talking about that Kshetrajna as Brahma, that Sushupta Atma. So again you go back and contemplate on that deep sleeper when you were asleep. What can you say about yourself when you were asleep? See, first of all, when we say we were asleep, we were not asleep. The mind and intellect were sleeping. That Kshetrajna as Brahma is always awake. The mind and intellect goes to sleep. That is called sleep. Kshetrajna doesn't sleep. When the mind and intellect wakes up, we say, I am awake. When the mind and intellect separates from the gross body, but still functioning, we say, I am dreaming. And when the mind and intellect goes to sleep, we say, I am asleep. But I, the Kshetrajna, is untouched by the different conditions of the mind and different conditions of the body. The Kshetrajna is really untouched. So, that Kshetrajna, if we look at it, I cannot say anything about it. Means I can't describe it in any way. I cannot say it is like this, nor can I say it is not like this. But I don't deny it also. I know I was there. I existed. So that Kshetrajna is pointed out as Param Brahma, as na sattan na saduchyate, as that which cannot be called existing, nor can it be called as non-existing. It's a very interesting and very subtle point. More about this we will contemplate and discuss tomorrow. Okay? Some very important, interesting points are revealed. So tomorrow we will discuss that. So till then you take care of yourself, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Contemplate on what was discussed today. It is direct. There is no kichir-pichir, there is no philosophy, there is no all gymnastics of words and all involved. It is a direct knowledge. If you get it, you get it. Okay? So more about this we will see in our class tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 जय जय राम जय राम। बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।